Welcome back, everybody. This is a movie review on the new film Civil War in 2024, directed by Alex Garland from A24 Studios. Okay, let me give you a brief synopsis. Civil War is a 2024 dystopian action film written and directed by Alex Garland. The film stars Kirsten Dunst, Wagner Moura, Kaylee Spaney, Stephen McKinley Henderson, and Nick Offerman. It plots follows a team of journalists who travel across the United States during a rapidly escalating Second American Civil War, which has engulfed the entire nation. All right, with that being said, you guys probably want to know what it is about. Okay, there's not going to be any spoilers in here. You guys probably think it is a propaganda film created by the masses with everything currently going on and all of the political chaos that is transpiring currently in 2024. All right. The night that I watched the film was April 8, 2024, last night. Let's jump right into it. So, Hector, were you disappointed? No, I was not disappointed, man. I actually went to the theater to expect to be disappointed, right? Let's see what kind of propaganda, let's see what kind of fluff, let's see what kind of agenda they're going to try to jam down our throats. I didn't get that, right? I didn't gather that. So it is true that it follows the journalist perspective, which is kind of cool because it is, for those that know, journalists are non-biased for the most part. They're there to capture, combat cameramen. They're there to capture the action on scene. So it's not necessarily picking a side right off the bat. It's not even picking a side at all. From my perspective, there's three sides, okay? There's three sides. There's the government. We all know the government, all right? That's a side. Then there's something called the Western Front, and that's where California and Texas have teamed up and created a fighting force, okay, equivalent to military standards. And from what it depicted, actually, they had military equipment, military uniforms, military gear, and all the above. And then you have those Lone Rangers, right? So if some of us were to think, hey, man, if this were to really kick off, which side, where would we participate? Where would we stand? If we wanted to get involved, those would be the Lone Ranger types, right? Disorganized. And when I say disorganized, I mean not as organized as the Western Front. If I had to pick a time frame of where this would occur, it would be the ultimate end, okay? The end. The end. When all negotiations have failed, when all cries for help have failed from the United States people. Like the end, right? Game time. The Super Bowl of the Civil War 2024. Which kind of took me aback, like, man, wow. I know you guys have all these people, including myself at times, that may or may not have the proper gear, may or may not have the proper equipment, prepping for such a scenario, right? Because if we look at history, we look at the fall of Rome, we look at Venezuela, we look at Libya, we look at Iraq, we see countries that have fallen and an uprising, so to say, an uprising to overthrow a government. So what we will be experiencing if, when, and shall an occurrence occur, we kind of can look in history and look at videos and depicts that, right? It's not, we're not going to do anything new or different other than be a lot more armed and prepared, okay? Now the acting in the film, it was good. It was great, okay? It wasn't poor. Again, I didn't leave the theater disappointed at all. I was very well satisfied. Get what you want from that. The acting was great. You had numerous key actors and actresses. They play their parts very well. You can get emotionally charged. That movie will emotionally charge you. That movie will trigger you. If you have experienced some type of combat, trauma, let me tell you. The actual film, graphics, attention to detail, it was a 10. It was a 10. Okay. And I say that because I was looking, right? Everybody goes to the movies and try to see what kind of wrongdoings they can do. Like, nah, the military didn't wear that gear during that year, during that war. No. What it depicted, and again, no spoilers, it depicted a lot of M4, AR-15 rifles, 308 rifles. I'm telling you, whoever they hired as a advisor was on point, was on money with that. The gear, the ballistic vest, that's an airsoft one. The helmets, okay, it was on point. What you would expect to see in a civil war, those individuals were properly geared. Now, I expected to be disappointed. I expected to be some type of stereotypical all white man is evil type of agenda push. Now, while they did depict white men with guns, can't really get around that. They also utilized other races, which I paid attention to, right? You may have had some black folks running around with weapons. You may have had some Asian folks running around with weapons. I don't think I've seen any Hispanics. Right? So, the point I'm trying to make is they did diversify the resistance, if that's what you want to call it, ethnicity groups, which is cool. It's cool, right? Because, again, nobody likes to get jammed down one, and that's realistic. It's realistic. I guess that's what I like, is realistic. I got a comment. It said, Hector, which side wins? And again, it depends on what side you are. Okay, I know who the majority of my followers are, and I know where they stand. But I guess if you were a Karen, you would be scared to death, right? If you were a Karen, you would try to ban everything and everyone outright. But then that's not really saying much, man. Karens can do some damage at a local Starbucks if you get their order wrong. So that's not saying much. If you are a military war veteran, I can tell you this from my perspective. Everybody wants action. Okay, everybody wants when I say everybody, okay, people want something until they actually get it, okay? And in that movie, it truly, truly, truly depicted the horrors and atrocities that can, may, and will happen. Some so that it even took me aback, like, dang, man, that is brutal. That is brutal, right? And in the reality of war is brutal. War is absolutely brutal. There are things that you will see in war that if you were to see it here on the home front, it would shock you to your core. But in war, it's normal. It's average. You won't even think twice. You won't even blink. You just keep going, and it's really survival, okay? With that being said, and reflecting back on the movie, they knocked that movie out of the park, okay? If I had to rate it 1 through 10, it was a strong 8, okay? Not a weak 8. It was a strong 8. So some questions you might have is it worth seeing? Absolutely. Am I going to be let down? I don't think so. Will it shock you to your core? 100%. Is it realistic? Well, again, what I say is the movie itself was realistic as far as actors, actresses, the plot, and the gear. Do I foresee an upcoming civil war in the United States of America in the year 2024 or on? No, I don't see it like that. After watching that movie, there is going to be a lot of space between where we are now and that so-called Super Bowl. With that, I love you guys. Make sure you tune in to the channel, subscribe. We're going to keep some more reviews coming. Keep pushing forward.